In the heart of the sprawling, sun-kissed mountains of Greece, where the whispers of gods and mortals intertwined, there existed a child who bore the weight of a secret so profound that even the heavens trembled at its mention. This child, known only as Lysander, was the product of a fleeting encounter between Zeus, the king of the gods, and a mortal woman named Callista, who lived in a village nestled in the valley below Mount Olympus. Callista was renowned for her beauty, her laughter echoing like a melody through the olive groves, captivating all who laid eyes upon her. Yet, it was not just her beauty that caught the attention of Zeus. It was her spirit, her unwavering kindness, and her fierce independence that drew him to her. In a moment of passion that transcended the boundaries of divine and mortal, their fates intertwined, resulting in the birth of a child, a boy with striking features that mirrored the divine lineage from which he came. But as the winds of fate would have it, Zeus, in a moment of reflection, deemed this child unworthy of remembrance. Perhaps it was the fear of what this child could represent, a bridge between the gods and mortals that could disrupt the delicate balance of power in the cosmos. Or perhaps it was the realization that Lysander, unlike his half-siblings who possessed the gifts of divinity, was born without the extraordinary powers that marked his lineage. He was, in every sense, a mortal boy, destined to live a life far removed from the grandeur of Olympus. As the child grew, Callista nurtured him with love and stories of the gods, unaware of the dark shadow that loomed over her son. She often spoke of his father, weaving tales of Zeus's might and wisdom, instilling in Lysander a sense of pride and wonder. Yet, as the years passed, the boy began to sense the weight of his mother's sorrow, the unspoken truth that hung in the air like a storm cloud. He would catch glimpses of her eyes, filled with a mixture of joy and lingering melancholy, as she gazed at him, and he often wondered why he felt so different from the other children in the village. Lysander was a curious child, with a heart that yearned for adventure and a mind that sought answers. He would often wander into the woods, where the sunlight filtered through the leaves, creating a tapestry of light and shadow. It was in these moments of solitude that he felt a connection to something greater, an inexplicable pull towards the mountain that loomed in the distance. The villagers spoke of the gods residing atop Olympus, their laughter echoing through the valleys, but to Lysander they were distant figures, mere shadows in the stories he had heard. One fateful day, as Lysander explored the forest, he stumbled upon a hidden glade, a place untouched by time. In the center stood an ancient stone altar, covered in moss and vines, its surface etched with symbols that seemed to pulse with a life of their own. Drawn to it, he approached, his heart racing with a mixture of fear and excitement. As he reached out to touch the stone, a surge of energy coursed through him, and in that moment, he felt a connection to the very essence of the earth and sky. Unbeknownst to him, this moment did not go unnoticed. High above, Zeus watched, his brow furrowed in concern. The boy was awakening something within himself, a potential that could not be erased, no matter how hard the king of the gods tried to suppress it. For in Lysander's veins flowed the blood of the divine, and even without the gifts of his father, he possessed a spark that could ignite a fire capable of challenging the very order of the universe. As the days turned into weeks, Lysander continued to return to the glade, drawn by an inexplicable force that whispered secrets of the past and future. He began to dream of the gods, visions of Olympus filled with radiant light and thunderous laughter. But amidst the beauty, there was a shadow, a figure cloaked in darkness, watching him from afar. It was a presence that sent chills down his spine, a reminder of the fate that awaited him should he uncover the truth of his existence. Callista, sensing the shift in her son, grew increasingly worried. She had always known that Lysander was special, but this newfound restlessness worried her. She could feel the weight of the world upon his shoulders, and in her heart, she feared the day would come when he would seek answers that were better left buried. In a desperate attempt to protect him, she began to weave stories that spoke of the dangers of the gods, of their capricious nature, and the wrath that could befall those who dared to challenge them. But Lysander, fueled by an insatiable curiosity, could not be deterred. One evening, under the light of a full moon, he made a decision that would alter the course of his life forever. He would confront the truth of his origins, no matter the cost. With a heart full of determination, he set out towards the mountain, the path winding steeply before him, a metaphor for the journey he was about to undertake. As he climbed, the air grew thick with anticipation, the very essence of the mountain alive with energy. He could hear the echoes of laughter and music drifting down from Olympus, tantalizing and yet haunting. With each step, he felt the weight of his lineage pressing down upon him, a reminder of the legacy he carried. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, he reached the summit, standing before the grand gates of Olympus, shimmering with divine light. As he approached, the gates swung open, revealing a realm of unimaginable beauty. The gardens bloomed with flowers of every hue, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of ambrosia. Yet, despite the splendor, a sense of foreboding loomed over him. The gods, with their radiant forms and ethereal presence, regarded him with a mixture of curiosity and disdain. They were aware of his existence, of the child that Zeus had sought to erase, and the tension in the air was palpable. Zeus, seated upon his throne, regarded his son with a stormy expression. The moment their eyes met, Lysander felt an electric connection, a bond that was both powerful and terrifying. The king of the gods rose, his presence commanding, and spoke with a voice that echoed like thunder. "You should not be here, child. Your existence is a mistake, a flaw in the grand design." Lysander's heart raced, but he stood his ground. "I am your son, and I deserve to know the truth. Why was I cast aside? Why am I unworthy of remembrance?" His voice rang out, filled with a courage he did not know he possessed. The gods shifted uneasily, their expressions a mix of intrigue and apprehension. Zeus's gaze hardened, the weight of his decision evident in the furrow of his brow. "You were born without the gifts of divinity, a reminder of a fleeting moment of weakness. I cannot allow you to disrupt the balance between our worlds." Lysander's heart sank, but he refused to back down. "But I am still your blood. I may not possess your powers, but I am not unworthy. I have a right to exist, to be remembered." In that moment, the ground beneath them trembled, and the sky darkened as if the very heavens were responding to his plea. The other gods murmured among themselves, their curiosity piqued by the audacity of this mortal boy who dared to challenge the king of the gods. Zeus's expression shifted, a flicker of uncertainty crossing his face. "You seek to defy me? To claim a place among the gods?" "I seek only the truth," Lysander replied, his voice steady. "I want to understand who I am, to embrace my heritage, even if it means standing alone." The tension in the air crackled with energy, and in that moment, a decision hung in the balance. Zeus, the mighty ruler, faced the essence of his own creation, a child born of love and fleeting passion. The weight of his past choices bore down upon him, and he realized that the very act of erasing Lysander from history had only served to strengthen the boy's resolve. With a deep breath, Zeus spoke, his voice softer now, yet still imbued with authority. "Very well, Lysander. If you wish to understand your place in this world, you shall have the opportunity to prove your worth. But know this, the path ahead will not be easy, and the trials you face will test the very core of your being." As the words hung in the air, Lysander felt a surge of hope, mingled with fear. He had been given a chance, a sliver of light in the darkness that had shrouded his existence. But he also understood the gravity of the challenge that lay before him. The gods began to disperse, their laughter fading into the distance, leaving Lysander alone with his father. The weight of the moment pressed heavily upon them, a bridge forged between the divine and the mortal. The boy stood before the king of the gods, the outcome of their encounter yet to be determined. In the days that followed, Lysander was thrust into a world of trials and tribulations, each designed to test his resolve, his heart, and his spirit. He faced the challenges with a determination that surprised even him, drawing strength from the stories his mother had told him, the lessons of kindness and bravery echoing in his mind. Each trial was more daunting than the last, ranging from battles against mythical beasts to tests of wit and wisdom that would leave even the most seasoned heroes trembling. Yet through it all, Lysander remained steadfast, his spirit unyielding. He learned to harness the strength of his lineage, not through divine powers, but through the courage and resilience that lay within him. As he conquered each challenge, whispers of his journey began to spread among the gods. They watched in awe as the boy, once deemed unworthy, transformed into a symbol of hope and determination. With every victory, he carved a place for himself in the annals of Olympus, a testament to the strength of the human spirit. But amidst the triumphs, shadows of doubt lingered. Lysander grappled with the weight of his existence, the knowledge that he was born from a moment Zeus wished to erase. He often found himself standing at the edge of the glade, where it all began, contemplating the duality of his nature. He was both a son of Zeus and a child of the earth, a being caught between two worlds that seemed destined to remain apart. In a moment of clarity, he realized that he did not need to choose one over the other. Instead, he could embrace both aspects of his identity, forging a path that honored his heritage while remaining true to his mortal roots. With this newfound understanding, he returned to Olympus, ready to confront his father once more. The atmosphere in the grand hall was charged with anticipation, as the gods gathered to witness the culmination of Lysander's journey. Zeus, seated upon his throne, regarded his son with a mixture of pride and uncertainty. The boy had proven himself time and again, yet the question remained, could he truly accept this child who had once been a mere footnote in his legacy? As Lysander stepped forward, the weight of the moment hung heavily in the air. "Father," he began, his voice steady, "I have faced the trials you set before me, not to claim a place among the gods, but to understand who I am. I am both your son and a child of this earth, and I refuse to be erased from history." Zeus's expression softened, a flicker of recognition passing through his eyes. "You have shown great courage, Lysander. In your journey, you have not only discovered your worth, but have also reminded me of the power of love and acceptance." With those words, the atmosphere shifted, a wave of energy cascading through the hall. The other gods nodded in agreement, their expressions reflecting a newfound respect for the boy who had dared to challenge the status quo. In that moment, Lysander felt a sense of belonging, a connection to something greater than himself. He was no longer an afterthought, a child to be forgotten. Instead, he stood among the gods, not as a rival, but as a bridge between their worlds. And so, the tale of Lysander, the mysterious child once deemed unworthy of remembrance, became woven into the tapestry of mythology. His story echoed through the ages, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, the human spirit can rise to meet the challenges of fate. As the years passed, Lysander continued to walk the delicate line between the divine and the mortal, forging a legacy that honored both aspects of his being. He became a symbol of hope, a testament to the power of love and acceptance, proving that even the most seemingly insignificant threads can weave the most intricate stories. In the end, the child that Zeus had once sought to erase became a beacon of light, illuminating the path for those who dared to challenge the boundaries of their existence. And as the winds of time carried his name through the ages, the whispers of the gods mingled with the laughter of mortals, forever entwined in the dance of life and legacy.